Hey, what's up you guys? It's your boy, Skinny Spencer. This week I decided to do something that I probably should have done a year ago, and that's to explain to you all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes when I film and edit these montages. This is basically gonna be like a compilation video of like behind the scenes footage we shot at VidCon. I say we, but you know it was just me and my sister. And me basically just sitting down and revealing to you all the Easter eggs that are in these montages. I'll also be giving you guys like a little bit of tricks and tips that I did to speed up the editing process when I did the Laurex video, as well as sort of the VidCon video as well. Actually, pretty much every single montage I made, like I'm gonna give you this trick that kind of like helps me find all these clips and all these references really quickly. But the Laurex video and the VidCon video were roughly edited in the same way, so there's a lot of like parallels when it comes to them both. This video is gonna kind of like just skim the surface of like the editing that I do. I'm not gonna go in depth, but if you guys want me to go in depth, make sure to leave a like so I know, because what am I becoming a tech channel now? Hopefully by the end of this, you guys will have like a greater appreciation as much as I do for these montages. And let's just go ahead and show you like exactly what I'm looking at right now. This is basically like what I stare at for hours on end. The editing software that I use is called Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2019. My first video edited on Adobe Premiere was the Laurex video. I kid you not. But I didn't always start out with like this fancy editing software. I literally used to make stop motion Webkins videos on Windows Movie Maker, if that's even still a thing. I literally have not used that for a decade. Oh my god, that makes me so old. And even if you have an iMac, I think iMovie comes for free on that, which I used to edit like my very first YouTube videos, which are now private and they're never gonna see the light of day. Anyways, noise canceling headphones on. Oh my god, look at all those errors. Ooh, just clear them. We don't need to worry about that. So this is like the very like infant stages of the VidCon video that I just edited. At a glance, this looks insane, but just wait, it gets crazier. So for me, both the Laurex video and the VidCon video were both like story kind of telling videos where I wanted to tell a story, not just like compile a bunch of clips together. And I think like it's more interesting that way to watch. Part of like a good story comes with like the music. A lot of the music that I get is from the website called Epidemic Sound. You only pay like 15 bucks a month and you can get all different types of music, and you can narrow it down to like genres, moods, movement, placement. Like you can literally go crazy with the creativity here. And this is where I usually start off with basically any video that I make, and I just go into this website, listen to some music when I'm like bored and I have nothing else to do, and I get inspired and I make something. But for the Laurex video, I actually use something a little bit different, and it's for free too, which was great. Which, oh my god, I have not looked at this in so long, and this looks so unorganized and I'm dying. It's actually the channel called No Copyright Sounds. They're free to use as long as you put their like disclaimer or copyright thing in the description of your video. So like for the Laurex video, I used On and On. I can't listen to this anymore. I've literally heard this song so many times after trying to scrub back and forth. This would literally be me for like hours on end. It would be like this. And then I go back. Until I lose my mind. But it's okay, because usually I can get into like a flow state. It'd be like, oh, 6 hours have went by and I'm still editing. Like, what the heck? Time is barely on our side. Holy crap. Oh my god, wait, I just saw this too. Oh my god, that has 578 likes. Oh my god, I remember leaving that comment right when I was about to edit this video. Whoa, this is like crazy. And if I liked it, I would actually add it to this playlist, and basically everything here, I basically spent hours just listening to music, trying to find like the right ones that sound good together. I know there's like a more proper way to like make sure like the music sounds good together, but I'm not a music major. I literally just listen to it and I'm like, this sounds good together, I'm gonna put it together. So like we'll go ahead and just like hide all of the video for now, because we don't need to see all of that. We're good for now, and we'll go ahead and mute the audio track for them. And usually when I start out the videos, I want it to like draw you in. Next thing you know, you're like 4 minutes in the video and you're like, oh my god. So we'll go ahead and just play like a little snippet of that song here. And the ooze, just the ooze get me in my feels, and that's just like what I like to do. And then it fades down. And then it goes into the next song. And every time there would be like a speaking part, which is like this thing in red that I guess I lost the footage here for this video, but every time Alex or Lauren would speak, I would raise the volume on their speaking and then lower the volume on the background. But as for the VidCon video, I used Epidemic Sound. So you would go into the website and you'd be like, okay, I want like a sentimental mood. And then you would just go down the list until you find a song that kind of works for what you're trying to go for. And usually I just add it to a playlist on the side here so that I can always come back to it later in the future. You can see the VidCon songs right here. For last year's VidCon, I remember picking the I Can't Take It song like well before I started even actually editing the video. Like usually the music is the first thing that I end up doing before I even begin to think of like what shots and what video and what kind of story I'm going to tell. For the VidCon anniversary video, I basically just used one artist and one artist only, and that was Hallman. These are like the best songs that just get me in my feels, and I felt really like amplified the 10 years of VidCon. If you asked me how long I edited this video, you don't want to know. Like by no means professional. If anything, I'm a little bit amateur, but I'm doing my best to like look like I'm a professional. You don't fake it till you make it. You can actually separate the audio tracks into like the bass, vocals, and the instruments. This part here where they say, I can't believe that it's been so long, I added that in right there. So it really like pulls you in. And I think actually I paired that with Hank Seng's first video conference, and then I'm like, I can't believe it's been so long since that first video conference, you know what I mean?
A real life online video conference.
If you haven't, check out the website.
Look how hairy my arms look on this screen.
First ever VidCon.
All these little pink things are like my notes. So like if I have like a thought at 3 AM at night, I can put it into this little note thing here and I won't forget it. I also did the note thing with the Laurex video as well. So like I would put like, okay, I want these types of shots, what they like about each other here. I'm not gonna go too much into the detail. I don't want to put salt on the wound, but that's basically what, for this part, I wanted it to be all the years of VidCon thus far, which says it right there. I basically had to compile 10 years of VidCon down to less than 30 seconds because audience retention. This entire like intro was done in After Effects because I was not about to make another timeline like I did for last year's VidCon montage in Adobe Premiere because that was absolute hell. The After Effects file for the 10th anniversary is right here, and every time I try to open it, it's gonna freeze my computer, and we don't have time for that right now. So all that I can tell you about this part is that the reason it's yellow is because this is all After Effects, and then once that was done, I just used dynamic link. I'm using big words, I'm very sorry. I basically just put the After Effects file into Premiere. And I know that there's like a lot going on right here, but I wanted to like showcase a lot of different things. The changing date here and the date here correspond with each other. If this happened in this year, it happened in that year. And every time the year changes, you can see up here that the VidCon changes from like the first annual to the second annual. It changes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 10. VidCon didn't have exactly the right logo I was looking for, so I had to go into Photoshop and Photoshop all of the logos 1 through 10 and put them up on there and find the right font that like matched this, because I have no idea what font this was. So like if it was like 2nd or like 3rd or like 5th, I had to do the ND and the RD. Like the ND and the RD do not exist anywhere else. And I actually became Father Time, and I became the controller of the algorithm, and I could control how many views something had or how many likes something had. But I wanted it to keep it like proportional and not have like 500k likes and 40k views. And at the beginning of this, I don't know if you guys noticed something, but you noticed something kind of suspicious in this little part here, right about here. Since it was 2010 YouTube, I wanted to put a bunch of 2010 YouTube videos on the side, and I just kind of like right here. You should subscribe. You must pause the video. I bet you guys definitely did not notice that. And there's also something a little like a little like there's a guy, like I don't know who he is, but he just kind of like appeared here real quick. I don't know if you noticed. He was right about there. I wonder who that is. And right here, I know Hank Green doesn't have 710k subscribers, but 7-10 is actually the date that the 10th anniversary of VidCon started. Don't know if you noticed that either. And right here, when it switches over to this part, this little news part, this date thing, I can't really get it to show you right here, but it starts on the July 2nd, 2010. That's when he uploaded this video. So I wanted to kind of like synchronize it, make it all look coherent. I really like enjoy like putting like those little details in these videos. I don't know, I have a thing for numbers and dates. And I also gave myself the ability to make it December 21st, 2012 again, so we can all die. And after this little After Effects part, I wanted to showcase every single thing that had a 10 on it. Like this had a 10, and these bracelets had a 10. I got a whole segment just for the ball pit because he said ball pit at the beginning. And then the whole like meet and greets B word. That's just me showing my excitement for the meet and greets. But right about here, I got Allie's hands, or my sister's hands. She was like, give me the shirts, but I was like, actually, this shot actually works in a different way. She's holding up 10 fingers for their 10th anniversary. And I thought that was cool, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna put that right there. And this year, I actually ended up renting a camera. I rented a gimbal and the Sony a7 III. By the way, it was not sponsored. I did all of this out of my own pocket. And if you guys ask me if I'm in a surplus with YouTube, I'm actually in a net deficit. So I'm actually losing money with every single video I make, but that's okay. Because you know what? Who cares about the money? I'm broke. And the gimbal was like this giant, just massive thing that I'm just holding around VidCon, and it's like half the size of me, and I'm just lugging it around and everyone's staring at me. Which I'm gonna go ahead and let my past self at VidCon try to describe this to you guys. Like what it does, it's like it balances it so like the shot's stable. It's really so cool and high tech, and it can also like move on its own and you control it with the phone. It was super cool, and I can't afford it, that's why I rented it. When it was like staring at me with this thing, and I'm like, and you would go like under it too, because like they didn't want to be in it, which I get. I was really worried too that like security was gonna come through and be like, no, you can't take this inside. I was still worried. I like emailed VidCon and everything. I was like, is this okay? Can I take this in a VidCon? They didn't get back to me. Got through security. Like security was gonna stop us.
Oh yeah.
See how big this was?
No, they were joking with you. They're cool.
Yeah, they're so nice.
Alex is like sweating.
I was like, you're sweating. Please don't take it away. It's a rental. The thing is like so heavy. Like I was talking with Where'd she go? This is like an arm workout.
Oh yeah. When you told me to hold it, it was so heavy, and I was like, ah, 10 pounds at the least.
Yeah.
This is his muscles
No,
right
let's
now.
not show them that.
And then his muscles after.
And I mean this in like the most non-toxic masculinity type of way, but I really do think my arms got a little bit bigger. The gimbal basically stabilizes the shot. So like here's a shot that I used last year without the gimbal, and then here's a shot that I used this year with the gimbal. And both of these shots makes it look like I have a lot of friends when I really actually don't. I also put a LUT on this video. So the way the Sony a7 III works is you can actually color grade the footage, which is something I've never done before. For instance, take this shot here. And what it does is once it's activated, it basically kind of elevates the video, but not all shots look right. So like for instance, when I met Ricky and it looked really bad and it just looked really gray and like not vibrant at all, I had to go into this little lumetri color panel. That's a really hard word for me to say. And I would just adjust these as needed. Why does that look worse than it did before? I don't know what I did wrong here. But the person who gave me the LUT said to adjust the shadows and the contrast and the exposures. So that's what I did until something looked good. Honestly, I'm not too advanced at this. Like I said, I'm not professional, and this is probably where I need to learn a little bit more because I still don't understand it. So I'll probably have to go and watch a YouTube tutorial to try to figure this out. Like if you ask me, Spencer, how did you find all these people saying all these things? And the answer is I didn't, and I just got lucky. Rosanna Pansino was actually talking about Escape the Night in this shot, but it kind of worked in a way that it also talked about VidCon and how it's really hard to get a bunch of people in one space. What she said is like true in a lot of situations. Like, have you seen my family try to pick a date for the Christmas party? It's chaos. And here's a little trick. If I'm looking for someone to say a certain thing, like, okay, I'm looking for someone to say the word fun, for instance, like Ricky Dillon's fun video that I made.
Fun.
I would go down here to these little three dots and click open transcript. And here you can see every single word that they say in the video. And you do this little thing, you do Control or Command F, and this little thing should pop up. And then you can type fun. There you go. Someone said fun right there. So you click it.
Yeah,
Pity
no,
laughs.
it was funny though.
She said funny, so I would basically just take that fun. And then I'd go to the next video and find the next word, and then over and over again until I have like a video ready to go.
Fun. Have a little fun. Not funny. Having some fun. Relax.
So much fun.
Fun.
That'll be fun. Fun.
Funimation.
Fun.
It'll be fun.
So fun.
Way too much fun.
Fun.
But I actually didn't even use this for the Laurex video for the speaking parts. I actually went through every single video they made and I put it at 2 times speed and I just sat there and listened to it. This makes your life so much easier. But some videos don't have transcripts and closed captions, and that not only affects the people who can't hear, but that affects the people like me who were trying to make a compilation video. So YouTubers, add captions to your videos if you want some intense fan edits. We don't ask for much. It just makes our life a little easier. And for this little photo part here, I know this is gonna sound bad, but I got inspired from like a Cameron Boyce montage that I saw on Twitter, and I was like, I like that. I want to use that. How do I do that? In a nutshell, this is what it looks like, and it has all these transformations and keyframes. It's almost like an animation in a way. Don't know what that meant, and I don't care. I'm just gonna hopefully click OK, and hopefully that goes away. And all these little green tick marks here are the way that I can keep track of what clip needs to go at what beat. We'll go into the outro here of the song. I think it's bound to the M key for me, and what I do, I'd listen to the song, and I would hit that M key where the beat was. And then I can go back, and that helps me keep track of what beat goes where. And what you can actually do, it's like a fancy little trick here when you edit, so you can pick your in and out points here. So like say I want this clip and this clip. Highlight these, go to this little automate to sequence, leave it just like as it is shown here, and click OK, and it'll actually bind to those points. See? And it does it for you. And you do that with all the clips that you got until you end up having something like this. And this is honestly my favorite part of the entire video. And it's all shot in slow motion too, 120 frames per second, and everything looks so smooth, and everyone is so dreamy, and it looks so good. Oh, so much. This is also like one of my favorite parts here. Really like jump right there. I love that so much. And then it fades and cuts to the credits, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the montage that I made, and I hope this like gave you like another insight into my mind. I'm also gonna be posting another video this week or early next week, because there's a lot of things that went down at VidCon that I was like, ooh, tea. Like I said, I really should have done this like a year ago when the Laurex montage came out, but I ended up just making it a joke video when I really should have been serious about it. If you guys want like a more in-depth tutorial, I'm so down to do that. Just let me know down in the comments below, leave a thumbs up. But I'm really glad you guys left some really nice comments, because I was starting to doubt myself a lot because it's nerve-wracking for me. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.